What's up, everybody? Glutes by Ant here. So yesterday I got stopped in a sauna and they were asking me a ton of questions about what I was doing, how I was able to hit 315 on that hand-assisted Bulgarian, and you know, conversation turned to conversation, and I realized that I actually don't have any educational film at a high level about what it is that I actually train. So I'm gonna give you guys an insight into a little bit of my mind today. We've got pronation and we have supination. We're talking about the foot here. You can imagine supination being the rotation of the foot upwards like a bowl of soup. And then we can think about pronation as that foot rotating inwards through that big toe and those pinky toes leaving that floor. Now, first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about pronation, right? That foot coming downwards. So what that is really caused by is your adductor. That's your inner thigh. That's going to make sure that everything is stable enough to make sure that you're moving forwards. Now, the adductor does another very interesting thing, which is activates your soleus. That's your calf. Okay, as both of those muscles come into play, the biggest people that I see having issues with this is your runners, your sprinters, people that are accidentally not using that big toe and instead using this really squatty position to run instead of staying nice and tall through their hip. Acceleration is a big point of this. If your big toe is not coming down, I personally have suffered from Achilles issues in the past because I'm not able to fully express my power through the entirety of my foot because I've been rotating outwards, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, that big toe is probably the most common cue that I see. You can do things such as heel elevated lunges. You can do things such as making sure that you're falling in, pushing through your big toes on your back squats, pushing through your big toes on a step up. That's all going to create that same tension point through the inside thigh and that calf. That way you can make sure that you are benefited and ready to go. Now, for somebody that is sitting at a desk job all day, every day, this is a very common thing where your lower mid back starts to hurt. So, lower back pain is definitely attributed. I wouldn't say this is the entirety solve all, but this is definitely something that you should be looking into if you're experiencing a little bit of lower back pain. Because if you sit all day for work, your knees rotate outwards, you're collapsed, your tailbone's nice and spread, and there's really nothing happening because you're sitting in your ergonomic chair. In reality, if we're stuck there all day, every day, then this internal rotation that we're trying to find is just not going to happen without training because the likelihood of you getting into that position is very low. Now, when I talk about internal rotation, that femur, that foot, if that big toe's coming down, guess what? The entirety of that leg follows it. So your entire thigh will actually rotate inwards like you're turning a doorknob left, or if you're on your left leg, turning a doorknob to your right. That way you feel that experience of your pelvis actually rotating and closing these double hinge doors inwards and then creating stability from that position. Now, what this kind of involves a little bit of is people that have a weak adductor tend to overstride, they tend to have lack of height at their hips, and most importantly, for a lot of you glute girlies out there, you have a lack of that upper mid glute. Tune in next time for the outside glute.